So how do you motivate your team?
Oh, several different ways. I mean, it's weird. We don't do our stuff on commission, so because I'm not a big fan of that, because then you get, you know, people just as you walk in the door, they're all over you. You know, if you go to something like the Buckle at the mall, I always hated going there because I'm like, no, I just want to look, you know. So we don't do that, but you know, we do other little things throughout, like special just things within our store, like, you know, if you hit this goal, you're going to get this much more money. So most of the time, you know, they don't make a great salary. It's above minimum wage, but you know, to allow them to have a little bit more salary, you know, we'll put bonuses on a special shoe if we need to get that shoe out, or something else we're doing. Or sometimes, like, hey, if you sell 12 pairs of this, you're going to get a free pair. So I mean, just stuff like that you know, may not be monetary rewards, but something that just a thank you, and hey, we appreciate your thing. And then most of the time, I mean, a lot of our employees are pretty self-motivated, luckily. You know, we have like a Christmas party where we take them out, and we have a cookout in the summer, so just stuff to kind of keep them motivated. And you know, they get a bunch of free stuff from the shoe companies too, so it's, I mean, that's kind of fun. And you know, we've been lucky because the people that we've had in our 3 years here have all been passionate about what they do. So, you know, we do have to motivate a little bit sometimes, but most of the time they come in and they're, you know, wanting to help people and ready to go. So we've been lucky on that.
Can you describe, let's say, a typical day for you guys?
Oh man. A typical day, honestly, anything can happen. Typically, obviously, we come in. First thing we do is, you know, look around, see if anything needs fixed, cleaned up, what's up on the wall. Is there any messages from, because Ben and I, we leave at 5, so we're open 2 hours after that. Is there any messages or anything we need to return? Is there any issues that we need to look at? And do that first. Then we do have a couple online sale things we have to check that happen before noon. And then the rest of the day is either helping people or filling in orders, calling in orders for stuff that we need to get in. We get a lot of phone calls and helping people. You know, we get a lot of requests for helping with a race or sponsoring a race or doing something like that. Half the time I look down at my watch and it's 2 and I have no idea what I just did. I mean, it goes by so fast, but it's good because it doesn't feel like a job. You know, unfortunately now, like when we first started, for the first year it was just Ben and I. We were the only employees because we were small. Now we've got a lot more employees, so we have to do more of the administration stuff, which is stuff that I'm not as big a fan of. I would totally rather be helping the people, but now most of the time we have our employees do that so that we can do the stuff that they can't do, like the bills and you know, sponsorships and ordering stuff. So as we're growing, we're getting a couple people who this is their only job, and so they're taking a little bit more of that responsibility, which makes it easier for us. But it's a lot of more administrative stuff than I ever imagined it was going to be, especially in a place like, for us, one of my least favorite times of the year is when we have to do what's called featured orders. So so let's say the Nike rep comes in, he shows us the shoe line for next year, okay? And I have to guess or forecast what I want to bring in from that line 6 months from now. That's the hardest for me, because one, I mean, I can only go off of what I like or what he says is going to be a good seller, which sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, let me tell you. And then I have to guess how many pairs I'm going to sell. Now, it's easier now that we have 3 years of back knowledge, but it's hard because we're also growing, so I have to try to equate for that, and sometimes we get not enough of a shoe, and sometimes you get too much. So that is something that happens, I mean, every 6 months for 9, 10 different companies. I mean, so there's a month in there where it's, you know, and then I have to go and I have to put all those in the computer, so a lot of time doing that kind of stuff. And then, you know, every Monday we do our ordering, so that takes up most of Mondays.
Wow. Really well, that takes me to my next question. an important part of business is automation. So let's say you have to be out for a full year. How do you think you'll find your company after that time?
That's a good question. Luckily for us, there's two of us. So if I was gone, it wouldn't be as bad as if it was just me or just Ben. If we were both gone, honestly, it would depend, because it would be, gone in what capacity? Gone in as, can I still call them? Do I still know what's going on? Or gone as in, do I not have any contact? Obviously, it's hard because if I were to go away right now, the problem would be then you would have to either bump up one of the employees we have now and get a new person, or find someone who has that kind of experience to take it over. So there would definitely be a couple month transition period where those things that I can do or know are not being done. But we're actually leaving tomorrow for the Kansas City Expo, so we leave for 2-3 days at a time, and all these guys know what to do for the most part. But most of the decisions, like do we want to sponsor this race, they don't make, and so they would have to make those things. Which, as long as they would be able to talk to us, we could tell them, hey, this is our philosophy on who we give money to, what kind of things we do. Like usually we rather give water bottles and t-shirts and stuff rather than just money. So it would probably be okay. But the thing is, for me, it's especially, I guess it depends on how big your business is, right? So this is like my child. I don't ever want to not be involved in it, and so it would be really hard, because I feel, and I know Ben feels the same way, regardless of how good you train your employees, you may have the best one in the world, I don't feel that anybody can do it as well as I can, because it's my livelihood, obviously.
Well, what if you have, let's say, 20 stores, and you cannot be...
No, obviously, yeah. If you had 20, then it's all about getting the right management. It would be picking the right people and having trust in them. That would be it. And then having to personally give up a little bit of control, and that's hard. Like, we have 2 stores now, and sometimes I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off, because it's hard to do even 2 with 2 of us. Because we switch back and forth. I'm here one day and then I'm in Salina the next day, and I'm like, okay, what happened that day? So that's been a learning experience. When it was just me and him, I used to know every shoe that we had, I had it memorized, and now I don't, because I'm not here. I'm like, I don't know what happened yesterday. And, so it's a trust thing, and it's literally training your employees, having trust in them, and believing and portraying your philosophy to them so that they understand it, and hoping that they get it and that they continue on with what your goal is. Our goal is to get people in the right shoe, let them have a satisfactory experience, and help them to get to whatever goal it is. Like I said, if they don't get to what they're doing, if they're not happy, then we didn't do our job. There are times when we try and it doesn't work. We got to try something else. But we want to continue to try and make it as enjoyable as possible. And because if someone is hurt and they can't run, that doesn't help us, that doesn't help them. So our whole goal is to get you to be able to do what you want to do. And if you're doing it and you're happy, I could care less what shoe, what hat you buy. It doesn't matter to me, as long as you are healthy and doing what you want to do.
Sounds good.